We often talk about nature as if it protects itself, as if landscapes thrive simply because they're beautiful, remote, or designated as protected. But there's an illusion of the wild at play here. We see a pristine forest and think, perfection. But without a designated trail, 1,000 hikers create 1,000 different paths, eroding the very soil they came to see. Nature doesn't manage itself. Every trail, park, forest, and shoreline people use is shaped by decisions. Decisions about access, design, maintenance, and care. And that's where recreation enters the picture. This episode isn't about whether nature is valuable. That part's obvious. It's about the role recreation plays in whether people can experience nature in ways that sustain it or quietly degrade it over time. Because the relationship between nature and recreation is reciprocal, and when that relationship breaks down, both sides feel it. Recreation is the interface between people and the natural world. It's what translates raw land into a lived experience, not just through trails and signage, but through the norms and programs that tell us how to be there. Think of it like a computer. If nature is the hardware, recreation is the operating system. It's a set of rules and paths that allow us to actually run the experience without crashing the system. When the system fails, we don't just lose access, we lose ourselves. This is where we see what author Richard Louv calls nature deficit disorder, the tangible cost to our health and community when we become alienated from the wild. Without a functional interface, nature becomes abstract, something to admire in theory, but never truly protect in practice. Ultimately, access is what turns the environment into something we actually care about. But that access can't be an afterthought. When recreation is designed intentionally, it protects nature by guiding use rather than leaving it to chance. Trails concentrate impact instead of dispersing it. Programs teach stewardship, not just participation. Facilities reduce informal use that causes long-term damage. Whether it's a city park, a state forest, or a national park, the goal is the same. Help people engage with nature in ways that sustain both the place and the experience. But when recreation systems are underfunded or ignored, nature doesn't become pristine. It becomes unmanaged. You've seen this happen. A desired path cut through a meadow because the main trail was flooded or poorly marked. It's a small scar that invites others to follow, eventually fragmenting the habitat. When land is unmanaged, it doesn't stay pristine, it degrades. We see it in those scarred meadows, the overcrowded trailheads, and the growing friction between users. The problem isn't that people are there, it's that the system wasn't built to hold them. This dynamic isn't limited to one level of government. Whether land is managed locally, statewide, or nationally, the challenge is the same. How do you invite people in without loving the place to death? Recreation professionals answer that question every day through design, education, and stewardship. The scale may change, but the responsibility doesn't. And recreation doesn't just protect nature, it depends on it. Natural spaces give recreation meaning, depth, and longevity. They anchor physical activity, mental restoration, and community identity in something larger than programs or facilities alone. When nature degrades, recreation loses a foundation. A trail through a dying forest or a polluted shoreline isn't just an ecological failure. It's a loss of the very places that help us recharge and reconnect. Nature needs recreation, not for exploitation, but for care. And recreation needs nature, not as a backdrop, but as a partner. When those systems work together, both become stronger, more resilient, and more visible in everyday life. But the value of recreation doesn't stop at the edge of the woods. It also follows us back into our towns and neighborhoods, providing the literal foundation for our social lives. In the next video, we're going to explore the third place and why, in an increasingly digital world, the physical spaces where we gather are more essential than ever. I hope to see you there. This is Recreation Matters. If you found this content useful, please like the video to help us reach more people, and subscribe as we continue exploring how recreation works, where it's overlooked, and why it matters.